This week's episode stays in North America. Welcome to Oklahoma, home of the Sooners, the Route 66 diners, and apparently a law against food theft of a very specific kind. You've probably already heard this one. It's illegal in Oklahoma to take a bite of someone else's hamburger. Except here's the twist. Nobody can actually find this law. Not the lawmakers, not the lawyers, not even Oklahoma's own public radio station after they went looking. So before you steal a bite off your buddy's plate, ask yourself, are you really about to break the law? Or are you just really hungry? Because we have a story for you. Welcome to Legally Ridiculous. To understand why this myth stuck, you have to understand Oklahoma's relationship with the hamburger. This isn't just a state that eats burgers, it's a state that helped invent a whole style of one. The fried onion burger, known famously as the Oklahoma onion burger. Born in El Reno, Oklahoma in the hard times 1920s. Perfected through the Great Depression. The invention of a father and son who couldn't afford enough beef, so they smashed cheap onions right into the patty. First to feed striking railroad workers, then to feed a state that couldn't afford anything else. Cheap, filling, and absolutely delicious. It became a point of pride, its own food group. Route 66 runs straight through the state, and diners along it have been serving these burgers for decades. People don't just eat a burger in Oklahoma, they defend it. Ask a local about the right way to make one and you'll get a real argument. So when a rumor started that Oklahoma had made it illegal to even touch someone else's burger, people believed it instantly. Because in a state this serious about its burgers, it almost sounded plausible. Here's how the story usually goes. Somewhere back in Oklahoma's history, bar owners noticed something. Instead of two customers buying two burgers, friends would split one burger, two people, half the profit. So, as the legend goes, those bar owners leaned on state lawmakers, and a law was born. Taking a bite of someone else's hamburger became officially illegal. This story has been repeated for years. It shows up on nearly every weirdest laws in America list. You can even find it on various law firm websites. But in 2018, Oklahoma's NPR station, KGOU, decided to actually check. A food writer named Greg Elwell asked a simple question. Is this law real? So a reporter went looking. She talked to a city attorney in Norman. She searched Oklahoma's actual statutes. She even dug through decades of newspaper archives. The closest thing to a hamburger crime in Oklahoma history, a man crushed by 1,200 pounds of hamburger meat while unloading a truck. He broke several ribs. The burgers? No charges filed. The only hamburger-related law she could find had nothing to do with sharing. It was a food safety statute about preventing horse meat from being sold as beef. No record of a bill, no code section, no legislation put forth by bar owners lobbying over burger bites, nothing else. So, if the law doesn't exist, where did it come from? Nobody knows for sure. But there are theories. Maybe it started as a garbled version of some real local rule, stretched over time until people assumed it covered the whole state. Another theory is even simpler. Somebody somewhere made it up. And once it landed on a weirdest laws listicle, it spread everywhere. Repeated so many times it started to feel true. Here's the twist inside the twist, though. Even without a specific hamburger law, biting someone else's food without asking isn't completely harmless under Oklahoma law. Food counts as personal property. Take a bite without permission, and technically that's theft. grab the burger out of someone's hand to do it, that could count as battery. So while there's no hamburger statute, there is a version of this that's still technically illegal. It's not the version you'd expect. Let's recap the sizzling details. There's no hamburger law in Oklahoma. No bill, no statute, no angry bar owners lobbying the legislature. Just a story that got repeated so many times, an entire state started believing it about itself. But steal a bite without asking, and you're not fully in the clear either. Theft? Battery? Real legal concepts, just never written with a burger in mind. So the law isn't real. The consequences technically could be. Just make sure to always ask before you bite. That's it for today's episode of Legally Ridiculous, where the laws are real and the logic is optional. If you enjoyed this, subscribe for new episodes and drop a comment below. Have you ever taken a bite of someone's food without asking and was threatened with legal action? We'd love to hear it.